Hi, I'm Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co founder of the She Angels Foundation. I'm also the podcast host of Invest in Her and an award winning producer, author, and TEDx speaker. Our show, Invest in Her, features phenomenal female founders and funders. As you know, women receive less than 2% of venture capital funding. Our series is about accelerating the funding of women by connecting them to funding resources. Let's meet today's guest. Welcome to this week's edition of Invest in Her. I'm your host, Catherine Gray, founder of She Angel Investors and co-founder of the She Angels Foundation, and also the executive producer of the movie Show Her the Money. And this week, we are talking about a new financial platform that's out there for Gen Zs and millennials. They have raised $34 million. How did they do that? Let's talk to the co-founder, Rebecca Palmer. Hi, Rebecca. We're so happy to have you with us today.
Hi, Catherine. Super excited to be here. Can't wait to get into it.
And I'm so glad you're coming to us from my hometown where I was born, which is right outside Washington, D.C. How,
Yes,
how's the weather there?
it's been pouring rain, but we will take it.
Oh
We'll starve
no,
off the
oh no,
heat
you're
a
gonna have
little
to come out
longer.
here to California. I had to
I
hate,
know.
hate to brag, but it's been really beautiful.
I'm sure. I am sure. That's what all my
It's why
California friends
everybody
tell
hates
me. Yeah.
us.
I know. I know.
Well, so happy to have you on today. And I want to tell people a little bit about your membership platform. It's called Fruitful,
Mhm.
and it's a new kind of financial membership and money management system for Gen
Mhm.
Zs and millennials. So tell me about this vision that you had about why a platform like this needed to be created and exactly how it works.
Yeah, I would love to. I could talk about this for 4 hours, but let's do it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, fruitful is really what happens when personal finance and technology like finally come together and they grow up into our generation and they grow a conscience. So, it's smarter, it's automated, it's accessible, and it's actually finally built to do the right thing for people. There are lots of, I mean, fintech is not a new thing. There are 50 million apps. It's not just another investing app or a budgeting app. What we're doing here is really building a complete financial system for people, somewhere they can earn, spend, save, invest, and do it all with intention and not anxiety. I don't know about you, but even I have probably 10 apps on my phone from various banks and investment platforms. And we live in an era where we can send people to the moon. We have self-driving cars. We have chat GPT. Like, why is it this hard for people to stay on top of their finances? It's a system problem, and we're pretty
Yeah.
darn bent on changing it.
Tell me if you agree. I think the reason, and it's not just Gen Zs and millennials, believe me, it's people of all ages that
Yeah.
have issues around money. Everything from money mindset, how they were
Mhm.
raised, what they were taught, right?
Yeah.
To just not knowing. I mean, that's a gift. Some people are born with that ability to crunch numbers and do finances, but I think the majority of people are not. And so I love what you're doing to help kind of automate and equip them with what they need.
Mhm.
And so, how did you all raise $34 million dollars for this platform? Not an easy thing to do, especially as a female co-founder. We both know women, even when it's a co-founding team, women get about 2% of venture capital funding. And
Mhm.
then when it's a male and female team, maybe about 14%, still in the minority, right? So,
Mhm.
what did you do to go out there and raise $34 million dollars? I know there's a lot of people out there that would like to raise that kind of money. Tell me the pitch.
Oh my gosh. It's about where the industry is going. It's this massive underserved market. Very rarely do you get a chance to do something that's not only doing good in the world, like it's actually good for people, but it's
Yeah.
also just a huge market opportunity. The industry is slowly, they're like they kind of know this is a thing. People are starting to think, hey, what about the people with only $50,000 to invest? What a novel thought. What do we do about those people? And you
Right.
wouldn't believe how slow the industry has been to recognize that this is a huge market. This isn't a vitamin. This
The
is medicine.
majority, it's not the
Yeah,
minority. Yeah.
people need this. And so when it comes to fundraising, there, so my husband and I, we are a dual startup household. Maybe you didn't know this, but this is our collectively our fourth venture backed startup. So we've been around the block a few times. And I think the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to fundraising is don't try to do it alone. Whether you're a woman or a man, or you have a male co-founder, it's you and other women, or you're a solo founder, whatever it is, like you need a team. And the first thing that you should do is start talking out loud to everyone around you. Like you
Yeah.
can't you can't be afraid to say what you're doing, who you are, what you're building. Say it out loud, get other people involved. The sooner it's out loud, and the sooner you can get champions, early angel investors, institutional investors, whoever it is that believes in you, you'll find those people sooner. And when you have a bigger cohort of people that believe in your vision and where you're going, it's
And I do
it's
think
actually
it's money
possible.
mindset. Like I can see you have that money mindset. Like you believe in what you're doing, you have a confidence. Did you always have that? Like this is your fourth go at it. In the first time, did you have that confidence or did you cultivate that?
I think it depends on the thing. Like when you know that what you're doing is inevitable, the confidence is there. It's just a matter of practicing, like
But you
saying it
know
out
what?
loud.
What you
Yeah.
just said is so key, Rebecca. When you know it's inevitable, and that is money mindset, even to
Mm,
just know that something that a download you have is going to manifest, that it is inevitable.
yeah.
That right there is confidence, right?
I guess it is. And maybe if you're trying to find that and you feel like it's not coming, just keep going. Maybe it'll be the next thing or the next way you explain it. It's practice, right? It's always practice.
Do you find it easier to raise money now on your fourth go round than you did on your first? Was that like a learning curve?
Absolutely. So with Fruitful in particular, like huge credit goes to not just the early founding team, but all the way up the ladder to our executive chairman that helps a lot with fundraising. When I think back to, let's see, this is 8 years ago, would be the first time we went through like a fundraising process. You get a little antsy, and you do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you feel a little antsy, and you do it anyway again. You keep doing it, you keep doing it, and then you realize that this is the normal thing. You're not asking for a handout or charity. You're saying, hey, this is the thing that's going to be valuable. I am the person to do it. This team is the team to do it. And you can help us build this, and it's going to be worth it to you.
And I think you just gave people great advice, and that's the confidence, like believing that you have this idea that has to be made. And I always say to people, when you're out there asking for funding, you have to take yourself out of the equation and say,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't about me. This is about I
Yeah.
had this download of something that needs to exist in the world, and I believe in it so much because I know it's so much greater than myself that I'm fearless about asking for the money because it's not for me, it's for that thing that needs to happen that's going to make an impact in the world, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. You're not asking for a bonus from your boss. Totally different situation.
Right, right. Now, I always tell people that fundraising is really about connecting and relationships, right? So
Mhm.
I would imagine, since this is your fourth go round, that the first time was cultivating those relationships, but then keeping it going for your second, third, and now fourth um, amazing entity that you're raising money for, right?
Yeah.
So it does
Um,
become a little easier.
yeah. I mean, you need to be consistent. You have to be the same person in all places. You have to be a grown up. You have to communicate openly and well and say, this is what I want to do. When there are challenges, which there will be, you can say, like, hey, here's what's happening. Here's what we're doing about it. And I think actually to the best founders I know, like the thing I love about them most is their just consistency and character. It doesn't matter where they are. They act the same, they talk the same, they do the things that they say they will. And even if, the business doesn't work out or tides change or whatever it might be, investors will go back to you if you are someone who is consistent like that.
I love that. Have you invested in other companies?
I have not yet, but it is on my list once we're out of startup salary land.
Right, right. Well,
Yeah,
your fourth attempt, this is amazing. I mean, it takes a lot of grit to build a business, and this is your fourth. I'm really amazed. Um, I see that you all won Best Personal Finance Platform by
we
fintech
did.
Breakthrough Awards. That's pretty impressive.
It was really exciting to see. We kind of, we know we've been working on this for a long time, but to the industry, it kind of looks like we came out of the woodwork. But this is the moment in time to do something like this. We can pull all of these pieces together now better than we would have been able to 5 years ago. And 5 years from now, it's going to be too late. So now is the
Right.
time.
No, right place, right time. Now,
Yeah.
Fruitful, I read this in Business Wire, and I think it explains what you do so people can really understand. It said
Yeah.
Fruitful launches a high yield account and cashback charge card,
Hmm.
pairing unparalleled savings and spending management with one-on-one financial guidance. It's the first of its kind membership. So,
Hmm.
the average Gen Z, millennial, or whoever, I take it anybody could join, right?
Anyone could join. Yeah.
Okay. Um, the membership includes the ability to get a savings account at a really nice interest rate. Is that the case?
It's even better, actually.
Yeah.
So the membership, $98 a month for a single membership, includes everything that you need to do related to your personal finances. You need to get advice on what to do. You've got certified financial planning professionals available to you, someone who knows you. You need to save money. You have that 5% APY cash account. But we also go beyond that for spending too. So even the money that you're using for your day to day spending is also earning 5%, which is incredible. So it's not just the savings,
That is
it's
incredible. And
your,
that doesn't
yeah,
change based on the interest rate. That's what you guys offer all the time?
right now it's 5%. So the plan is to be the top of the top of the market, whatever the rates are doing.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you offer
And
a cashback credit card. I take it it's fairly easy
mhm.
to get that.
It's so you don't actually have to apply for it. There's no like credit pull or anything, because it's technically what's called a secured charge card, which is more technical than most people care to know. But the reason that that matters is because that means that you can still get the rewards back because it runs on credit rails, but it is literally impossible to get into credit card debt with this card. So you're in a situation where you're getting good advice, there's automation, you're getting advice on saving, on spending, and investing, and more importantly, you have the system to actually automate that advice.
I
We
mean,
like to say,
that's amazing. I think that's the number one thing people, all young people do, is they
yeah,
run up a charge card and then they're in debt.
mhm,
How
yeah,
does your automated system keep them from doing that?
we tie the limit of the card to the available balance in the account.
I
So
love that.
if you put in $500, you can spend $500. If you spend 100, now you can spend $400. It it's
I
actually
see.
like doing the right thing for people, right? We don't want them to get into debt. We want them to save.
Right. So they have to put the cash up front, which makes
Mhm.
sense. And then they spend it down in a credit card format, but they get a percentage back.
Exactly. So what you get once you implement like an automated system like this is you always know how much you have to spend. It's not like, oh, I have to do the mental math. Can I pay rent? Like you always know what is available there. You always know you're going to be able to pay your bills because you have that money set aside and you know you're earning the best of the best rewards.
Mhm.
Um, of course, our long-term bet here is that when we actually set up a financial company that aligns business interests with customer interests, everyone will want it, hopefully. That's our hope. But and hopefully when people and more people have started joining, we can take that and the industry will start to notice and start to say, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't rely on these sneaky and monthly membership fees or the spread lending or all of these kind of like super standard but shady banking practices. Maybe we should
So
change.
so right now your service is a membership. I think it 99 a month, something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But included in that, besides the high interest rate on your checking and your ability to have this credit card at 2% and, not over get yourself into debt, on top of that, you all have teamed up with leading companies. So the certified financial planners in your system are from Morgan Stanley, Ellevest, Fidelity. So that one-on-one advice they're getting is from professionals.
Yeah, all of our we call them guides actually. All of our financial guides are certified financial planners and they are fully baked. They've been doing this for five,
Now,
seven,
someone
10,
might
12
think,
years.
well, wow, $99 a month could be a lot for somebody that doesn't have a lot of money.
Mhm.
But putting that in perspective, if you went over to Fidelity or Morgan Stanley or
Yeah.
whatever, you're going to be paying
Mhm.
a lot higher fees on your trades and stuff. So for that
Mhm.
$99 a month, does that include the advice and then they go in
Mhm.
and make the transactions themselves?
It includes everything. So it's advice, investment management, access to all of the products. We kind of think about it like um, anything that they would need to do with their money, we want to build a product that is best in class that does that for them. So they don't have to have these fractured systems and being charged in sneaky ways here, in AUM for their investment platform, and they're getting charged monthly overdraft fees in their banking platform and all these places. It's way too complicated. It's
Right.
we're past that technology wise.
Yeah.
We can do
And
better.
so many young people are, often getting the overdrafts and things like that. So this
They
prevents,
are.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so somebody just has to say, you know what? I'm going to pay my $99 a month to have all of this access to the
Mhm.
high interest rate, the card, keeping me in line, showing me how to build my wealth by
Mhm.
having one-on-one conversations. And then if they wanted to buy and sell stock, how does that
Mhm.
happen?
Yeah, so investment management is included. Think of it parallel to like a Betterment or a Wealthfront. So we have automated portfolios. You get one-on-one advice from your financial guide to help you figure out like, number one, what is this money for? Number two, what's the time horizon on you needing to use it? And based on that and your comfort, with risk, we figure out like, hey, this portfolio is probably the best for you. And then we automate that. So it's ETFs, it's index funds, it's all the dollars on the sidelines. We want them playing on the field. We don't want any money not
So
working
based on
for
if
people.
you're saving for a vacation or you're saving for a car, or if you're saving for retirement or a house or
Mm-hmm.
something like that, they
Yeah.
will advise, your one-on-one will advise which automated system they're going to put you into, and your money will
Mm-hmm.
go into those funds to achieve what it is that you have in mind as far as a time length or a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Each goal deserves its own strategy. Yeah.
So when people say to you, well, why should I do this instead of, go to Charles Schwab and get a advisor? You
Mm-hmm.
would say,
I would say, first of all, it's way better. I know I'm biased, but it's fully comprehensive. Not only are you getting the like actual advice from a CFP, it's not just investing. It's student loans, it's house buying, it's equity comp, it's debt pay down, it's how do you send your kids to college? Like it's all of those things. And it's from someone who also understands what it's like to be a 20 to 50-year-old, roughly, like in today's environment. You're not getting talked down to. There's no jargon. We're really human in our approach. So the advice is comprehensive and it's better. It's a fraction of the cost of what it would be elsewhere. So it's probably a quarter to half as much as it would be if you were playing for like a one-off plan from a solo shop CFP, or if you had the minimums, if you even had the minimums to be able to pay, that 1% of AUM, it's way cheaper. And the reason that we can make it more affordable and more accessible is because we're doing it with technology and we're doing it in this like integrated way that helps us be more efficient and more fit for purpose.
so does this involve AI technology?
So the way we think about AI, this is a great question. I kind of think about it in the way that think about like accounting, like how accounting has evolved over the last 100 years. Like, were there accountants back then? Are there now? Yes. Has their role changed? as we've gotten QuickBooks and all of these different softwares, for sure. Do we still need humans for accounting? For sure, because we trust humans. But do their tools evolve and help make them more efficient and help us drive down the cost? Yes. So AI is going to be a huge piece to us being able to serve not just tens of thousands of Americans, but millions of people in this category. You know, they're in the middle. They need help. No one is paying attention to them. No one wants to help them.
Yeah, and I saw your catalyst for starting this was you're seeing in Gen X and millennials a lot of anxiety and debt stress, especially over college debt and things
Yeah.
like that. So this is to alleviate that. We shouldn't have to be stressed about money. So Fruitful is trying to be that automated solution, but with a personal touch where you actually can connect one-on-one with an advisor. So
Yep.
I think that this is really amazing. I can see why you've raised the funding because, nobody's been addressing the stress that the Gen Zs and millennials have felt about money.
There's so much. Yeah. We really have two goals. One is help people actually do better, make it easier to do better financially, and two, help them feel better. They don't need to be checking their finance apps more. We want them to be checking them less. We
Yeah,
want them to get back to living their life. Yeah.
yeah. I love that. So, what is your next step here?
Our next step is figuring out how to scale. So we are post Series A, looking towards that next milestone. We've built the major pillars that we need for the company. We put it all in the water. Now we're looking at how do we actually make some noise now and get people to see what we're doing and bring more and more and more people to us, so we can
And
start.
what kind of entities are you looking to partner up with to help scale it? Is it
Mhm.
like, entrepreneurial groups, or is it groups of, um, college students, or like, what is it exactly?
So right now we are mostly direct to consumer, actually. We found great success in going directly to Americans, mostly through Instagram and Facebook and Google ads. But we're also looking at partnerships. We're looking at some B2B stuff, see if there are some interesting pathways there. And we're really finding the sweet spot. We B2B has been pretty, or B2C has been very successful for us so far. People are very engaged when they come willingly and when they're paying to participate in something versus when their employer pays for something to do it. But as with all startups, you don't know what the thing is going to be, that makes it click. And so you just keep going. You try all the things, you test all of the avenues, and you see what
Right.
resonates with people. Yeah.
Right. What about TikTok? Have you guys tried that?
We are, yes. Fortunately, I am not the social media person, but we are also on TikTok.
Yeah, who isn't?
I
Especially
know.
to scale businesses, right?
I
Well,
know.
it's great talking to you and learning about this. I love your vision. It sounds like an amazing platform. We hope people will go check it out. What's the best way? Is it to go to fruitful.com?
Yeah, go to fruitful.com, or you can find us on Instagram at Hello Fruitful, or you can find us on LinkedIn if you are also posting there. But it has
Yeah.
been such a pleasure to talk to you. I know anyone who's listening to this is either working on a startup or thinking about one. I think you're a great example of just like relentless pushing towards something. I don't know anyone else who runs a podcast who has put out as many episodes as you have. So you just keep going. And I love to see that. Thank you for doing it.
Thank you. And you know what? Through doing my podcast, I get to meet the most incredible women on the planet. So thanks for being a guest. And we're going to be cheering you on. I want to hear about the next big tranche that you raise. I know it's coming. And yeah, I hope everybody goes out there and checks out Fruitful and goes there and signs up for membership to take advantage of their high interest rate, their cash back, their automated system, their one-on-one financial advice. That's one of the most affordable in the market. So what could be better than all of that, right?
I know. Thank you so much. Thanks for
And
taking the time.
Rebecca Palmer, we can find you personally
Yes.
on LinkedIn.
You can find me on LinkedIn. It's Rebecca Bradshaw Palmer. Bradshaw like Carrie Bradshaw. That's why I am.
Oh, I like that analogy. I love
Yeah,
Sex in the City.
it's the one people have heard of.
Exactly. And of course, listeners, you can find me on LinkedIn as well, Catherine Gray with an A, Catherine with a C, and visit our websites as well. We have the movie, showherthemoneymovie.com and sheangelinvestors.com. And thanks for taking the time to tune in, everyone. Make it a great week. Rebecca, thank you for being a great guest.
Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, y'all.